Today we'll present the timeline of all U.S. aircraft carriers sunk by combat. This historical timeline unveils the gripping stories of U.S. aircraft carriers that fell victim to the ravages of war during combat engagements. Each represents a poignant chapter in the annals of naval warfare, memorializing the brave men who served aboard these carriers and their sacrifices for their nation. As we journey through time, we'll recount the heroism of the crews of these carriers and the profound impact their loss had on shaping the course of history. USS Langley CV-1. She was the United States Navy's first aircraft carrier converted in 1920 from the collier USS Jupiter. During the Battle of the Coral Sea on 27 February 1942, she was attacked by Japanese bombers while carrying USAAF P-40s to Java. She was so badly damaged that she had to be scuttled by her escorts. She was also the only carrier of her class. Over 630 crew members were on board, and more than 400 lost their lives due to Japanese submarines hindering rescue efforts. USS Lexington CV-2. She was one of the two carriers in the Lexington class and was commissioned in 1928. In World War II, she sustained significant damage from Japanese torpedoes and bombs. After fuel explosions, the ship was abandoned and scuttled by the USS Phelps destroyer during the evening of 8 May 1942 to prevent her capture, thus making the first loss of a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier in the war. The ship's wreck was located on 4 March 2018 by RV Petrol. USS Yorktown CV-5. As the lead ship of the Yorktown class, the USS Yorktown CV-5 played a crucial role in the Battle of Coral Sea. On 6 June 1942, the Japanese submarine I-168 fired torpedoes, 2 of which struck the Yorktown. With salvage efforts deemed futile, the remaining repair crews were evacuated, and the Yorktown sank on the morning of 7 June 1942. The wreck of Yorktown was located in May 1988 by Robert Ballard. USS Wasp CV-7. The USS Wasp CV-7, commissioned in 1940, was lost in action in 1942. After supporting the Guadalcanal invasion, the Wasp was hit by 3 torpedoes from the Japanese I-19 on 15 September 1942. The damage caused explosions, destroying her water mains and knocked out power. Unable to control the fires, she was abandoned and scuttled by torpedoes fired from the USS Lansdowne. Her wreck was found in early 2019. USS Hornet CV-8. She was a Yorktown-class carrier that was crippled by Japanese torpedo and dive bombers. On 27 October 1942, she was sunk by torpedoes from Japanese destroyers Makigumo and Akigumo, serving for only 1 year and 6 days. The Hornet was the last American fleet carrier sunk by enemy fire in World War II, though other smaller carriers were also lost in her battles. Her wreck was located in late January 2019 near the Solomon Islands. USS Liscome Bay CVE-56. She was the second of 50 Casablanca-class escort carriers built to serve the U.S. Navy during World War II. On 24 November 1943, her munitions were catastrophically detonated by a torpedo attack by the Japanese submarine I-175 while she was acting as the flagship of the Carrier Division 24, which was supporting operations on Macon. She quickly sank, resulting in the deadliest sinking of a carrier in U.S. Navy history, with the loss of 644 officers and sailors. USS Block Island CV-21. She was a Bow-class escort carrier and was the only American carrier sunk in the Atlantic during the war. Block Island was torpedoed off the Canary Islands on 29 May 1944 by U-549, a German submarine who had slipped through her screen of escorts. U-549 fired 3 T-3 torpedoes, hitting her with 2 and severely damaging the ship, which later sank. 6 crewmen were killed in the attack. The remaining 951 were picked up by the escorting destroyers. USS Princeton CBL-23. She was an Independence-class light aircraft carrier active in the Pacific Ocean during World War II. Princeton was attacked by a lone Yokosuka D-4Y Judy on 24 October 1944. The bomb struck between the elevators, causing a fire that led to further explosions. Structural damage was minor, but the fire spread rapidly due to burning gasoline, eventually causing her to sink. USS Gambier Bay CVE-73. She was a Casablanca-class escort carrier that met its end during the Battle of Samar on 25 October 1944 as part of the larger Battle of the Leyte Gulf. After assisting in repelling a larger Japanese surface force, it was sunk by enemy surface gunfire, making it the only American aircraft carrier lost in this manner during World War II. Most of the early 800 survivors were rescued 2 days later by landing and patrol craft dispatched from Leyte Gulf, but tragically, 147 crewmen lost their lives. USS St. Louis CVE-63. Another Casablanca-class escort carrier achieved a grim distinction as the first major warship to be sunk by a kamikaze attack. During the Battle of Samar on 25 October 1944, a bomb penetrated its flight deck, exploding on the port side of the hangar deck. Of the 889 men on board, 113 were killed or missing, and approximately 30 others succumbed to their wounds. The wreck of St. Louis was found by RV Patrol on 14 May 2019. USS Omani Bay CVE-79. Also a Casablanca-class escort carrier, suffered severe damage from a kamikaze attack on 4th January and was subsequently scuttled. The attack resulted in the loss of 95 men, including 2 aboard the destroyer escort Eichenberger, who were killed by the flying debris. During her active service, she accomplished the acquisition of 2 battle stars. This year, the Navy History and Heritage Command made a public statement revealing that the wreckage had been discovered. USS Bismarck CVE-95. She was the 40th of the 50 Casablanca-class escort carriers built to serve the United States Navy during World War II. She was the only ship of the United States Navy to be named for the Battle of the Bismarck Sea. On 21 February 1945, it sank off Iwo Jima due to 2 Japanese kamikaze attacks. The explosions from munitions, including torpedoes, caused a fire on the ship and rendered the steering dysfunctional. The tragic event led to the loss of 318 men, making it the last U.S. aircraft carrier in service to sink due to enemy action.